I guess, the last 3 weeks? What's the process been like for you, and I guess your evaluation of the team after the 2014 season?
Yeah, the evaluation of team, we kind of look at it. We have a systematic approach. Obviously, during the year, from the personnel staff, we feel like one of the most important things we can do is evaluate our team, evaluate each individual. So the process goes through the season. Of course, right after the season, when the season is fresh, we go through a process of evaluating, kind of putting together our assessments and evaluations. Then we take a step back, and obviously coaches, that's what they've been doing the last couple of weeks is, going back to film. We've been going back to film and just kind of looking at players, looking at who we are and who we want to be. And obviously the season was, the ending was disappointing, but just kind of looking at it in a fresh perspective and just seeing, assessing both, as a team and individuals. And that's the process we're going through right now.
How do you explain the final 6 games in terms of the performance and how it drastically dropped for the team?
I think it was a combination of a lot of things, and those are one of the conversations that we're having right now. Is our coaches go back and just fine tune. They're not preparing for another game, so they have more time to just really look and break down and just see the aspects that what was missing and how, more importantly, is like how do we get to where we want to be as a team? How do we get to where we finish better? And because we're all disappointed on how the season ended. So those are things we're all looking at, evaluating every aspect of it.
Is there one thing that you can point to that needs to get better in this franchise? I mean, the defense, particularly the front seven, seemed maybe the last half of the season to collapse a little bit.
The NFL, it's complementary football. So to put your finger on one thing, it's a combination of a lot of different things, and that's what we're looking at. And we're committed to fixing whatever we need to do to get. Look, our goal is to win, and our goal is to win a championship. And so that's our focus as a team. That's our focus as a personnel staff. That's our focus as a coaching staff, and that's what we're in the process of doing.
Were you disappointed with the Mike Wallace situation?
I think we're all frustrated with the way the season went. I think to a man, every person in the organization, whether it be from Mr. Ross to Coach Philbin to myself to the individual players, and the goal is to use that as motivation as we approach the off season and to work together. All right, this is where we were. This is where we were 8-8. That's the reality. Confronting the reality of where we were. Okay, what do we have to do to get better and to take that next step as a team?
Will that with what happened with Mike at the end of the season play a factor into whether he returns to the Dolphins next year?
We're looking at all things with our players and evaluating as part of our process. And I always talk about the process, and we try to look at it as a systematic approach, with different sections of the season and just taking a look at it. And that's what we're doing now. I know the coaches have gone back and, looked through cut-ups and different analysis, whether it be in the passing game, the running game, individual players, groups of players, all those things. And that's what we're looking at, and that will guide the decisions upcoming.
But is he a guy who fits this team's culture? Do you think Mike has, the way the season ended, is he a fit for this franchise, do you think?
We look at all those things with our players, and again, it was a disappointing finish. There's no sugarcoating that, but you have to look at the season in totality, players in totality. We see, we evaluate players on a daily basis, every practice, every meeting, all those things. We are constantly looking at players, and that's what goes into the looking at players in totality as we make decisions.
And sorry to keep asking about Mike, but when do you plan on having a resolution with that situation, where you decide to keep him or go in a different direction?
Again, with all the players that we're working through, whether it be upcoming free agents, guys on the roster, those are the decisions that we're making as we go through the process right now, both as a coaching staff, and it's something we do collaboratively. Personnel staff, we've been looking at it. Coaching staff's been looking at it. We're going to get together, and that will guide our decisions upcoming.
What kind of a challenge is that, the salary cap this year? You're obviously, to clear space, you're going to have to cut some players that are there right now. So let's talk about the challenge of going in with not a lot of cap space.
Well, in the salary cap era, every year you're going to have tough decisions and difficult decisions, and this year's no different. So, you look at all those things, and that's why, as part of the process, you're not only meeting with coaching staff, but you're meeting with Donna Ponte and her staff, and, just seeing where we're at and where we can go and to become the team that we want to be.
Because it's been easy the last couple of years. You've had a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, I can't speak to the last couple of years, but I know Don's done a great job of, with the cap, and now we have to, again, we have some difficult decisions upcoming.
How difficult is that? In a situation where this isn't a team that you built, these aren't free agents that you sign. A lot of them are free agents that you sign. I mean, do you feel like you have the autonomy to build the team that you want to build?
You know, we talk about it in a collective sense. I mean, this is our team. This is our roster, and so that's the way we look at it. And so as we go through it, you know, we're going to take a hard look at everything that we do. You know, whether it be from the personnel staff, from the coaching staff, and everything that we do to try to be the team that we want to be.
You talk about Mike Tannenbaum coming in and that dynamic, having him there now with you.
Yeah, well, Mike and I have been working together for about the last 11 months. He was as a consultant, so we were working on several projects, initiatives, whether it be for sports science and analytics, and we worked well together. And we're glad to have him on board. We welcome his addition, and you know, it's been good. You know, this week, you know, he still has to tie up some loose ends with his business, but we had some time to, you know, talk shop this week, and it's been great. You know, we're going to work well together.
How long does it take to get those philosophical concepts and approaches down in terms of what you guys want to be, and all three of you collectively, Joe and you, Mike, now?
Yeah, for the most part, we're on the same page. The goal, you know, what do we want to be, and that's winning the championship and being a championship team. So, you know, a lot of the details with that, obviously Mike comes up with a lot of experience, a lot of success, and, you know, so it's been good to just, again, talk shop and, you know, talk ideas and come to, you know, collaborate together and to get this done. Look, we see everything as a team concept, and, you know, every decision we make is not done in isolation. We do it together, and that goes back to, you know, when I first got here, you know, leading up to free agency, you know, sitting down with Coach Philbin, and we're going to do the same thing of collaborating and working together, because we see it as a team effort.
Dennis, how close is this team to being the type of team you want it to be?
We got a lot of talent. And again, we were 8-8. We saw a lot of progress and a lot of exciting things that we could build around. The progression of Ryan Tannehill, and, you know, the growth. You know, going into the season, you know, the question was, you know, what did you want to see? And we wanted to see growth, and you definitely saw that in Ryan. And we really like a lot of things he was doing, and, you know, we want him to continue to make that step. But we're really excited about what he accomplished this year and what he's going to continue to accomplish.
What's the next step for him?
You know, fine-tuning all of his game. You know, the quarterback, there's not just one aspect. Obviously, there's some things that, you know, he's focused on getting better each year, and then it's totality. The quarterback, you know, touches the ball on every play. You know, he controls everything. So there's a lot, but we really like the progress that he's made and are excited about his future as a Dolphin.
In terms of the offense, what Bill Lazor wanted to install and the fast pace and up tempo wasn't exactly what was delivered. What went wrong there in terms of installing what you envisioned for the offense?
You know, that's more of a question for the coaching staff. You know, we were excited about a lot of things we developed, whether it be in our running game, the development of, you know, Jarvis Landry, you know, Ryan's success, you know, but we got to get better. I mean, that's the reality of it. We got to take the next step, and that's kind of the message, you know, not only to ourselves, but, you know, to our players. Hey, look, we need to take the next step, and how do we get there? And it starts with the off season. You know, that's coming up, and, you know, the guys I've talked to, you know, really excited about the off season and, you know, getting better and taking that next step as an organization.
How would you evaluate your free agent class this past year? You brought in some guys that were successful. They were also some injury-prone guys from the past that got injured again this year. I mean, how would you evaluate how that went with free agency?
You know, those guys, we were excited about what they brought. We think they helped us. Obviously, with any decision that you make when it comes to whether it be a free agent, whether it be a draft pick, there's a lot of things that you have to weigh, and sometimes there's risks involved. And obviously, you weigh those and you make decisions. And you know, but we were excited about what they brought to the table, both not only from, you know, a playing standpoint, but also from a leadership standpoint. And obviously, we're 8-8, so that's the grade that I would give our free agent class, 8-8.
Will that, you know, having guys like Delmas and Moreno, like I said, they were injured before, came in, would that, because of what happened this year, would that affect how you move forward, you know, thinking about, you know, guys that have had injury issues in the past?
Again, you know, we weigh the risk on an individual basis, and that's, you collaborate with your medical staff, your doctors, and you make judgments, and you live with them.
Dennis, back to Ryan. Obviously, he made progress this past year. You're going to have to make a decision at some point soon, whether to pick up the 5th year on his rookie deal, whether to give him an extension. Do you feel like he's earned those things? Do you feel like he's at a point now that, because between now and May, you have to decide on that 5th year, that you're going to go ahead and pick up that 5th year option on him? We're
excited what Ryan's brought to the table for us as an organization, and not only on the field but off the field. and the way he handles his business. And so we're excited about his future as a Miami Dolphin. Obviously, as we work through the different mechanics and machinations of decisions upcoming, we'll continue to work with that. But we're excited about his future as a Dolphin.
Yeah, you think he's going to be a member of this team for a long time then?
We're excited about his future as a Dolphin.
What plays into that decision, whether you do a fifth-year option, extend the guy now, and what kind of different things play into that?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of different things. There's cap ramifications, and where we're at with, but we like the player, and we're really pleased with his progress, and he's planning on taking the next step, like we want all of our team, all of us, to take the next step.
It's fair to say he'll be here beyond next season.
We're excited about his future. Yep.
In terms of what it takes to get this team to the next level, you talked about getting to the next level. That's the focus. What does the team need to do to get to the next level? I mean, is it more physical? Is it more, be better against the run? I mean, how do you get better?
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination. I don't think there's one answer to that. I mean, there's a combination of a lot of different elements that we're looking closely at. We're turning over every stone, trying what we need to do to take the next step, and that's what we'll do.
That is the news in New England is kind of dominating the headlines today. Have you guys ever come across deflated footballs with the Patriots, or are you at all surprised by these allegations?
Yeah, I have no comment on that.
So do you have any injury update on Brandon Albert, Will Davis, some other guys that were done for the season? How are they progressing at this point?
The rehab's gone well. All those guys are on schedule and doing really well. That's they're in almost every day, and so it's good to see them. And they have great attitude. They're attacking their rehab, and so every one of those guys are on schedule.
I know timeline's kind of tough at this point, but do you feel Albert will be ready for Week 1? That's obviously a big question a lot of people have.
He's on track for returning. The exact time. I mean, that's still that's a ways away, but he's really attacking his rehab's got a great attitude, and we're excited about it.